friends, welcome back to the week in Timview. So for this week, we'll be Timviewing Stray, or as I like to call it, Cat Simulator. So what is Stray? In a nutshell, it's basically a platformer with some light puzzle elements that really heavily emphasize the exploration aspect. And there is this beautifully detailed, futuristic cyberpunk world that you explore as a cat. Just right off the bat, this game is phenomenal. I wasn't totally sure about it before I played it. It looked interesting, but I wasn't sure how the gameplay would be. But after some rave reviews in the Discord, I had to give it a shot. And I am so glad I did, because this game is excellent and totally worth playing for anybody and everybody that may be interested in it. The world of Stray is set somewhere in the distant future. And so the game starts off with you as a stray cat with a group of other cats. But at one point, a precariously placed pipe leads to you slipping down into this dark abyss. Upon waking, you find yourself in this strange, desolate, underground cityscape, and so the rest of the game sees you exploring all of these cyberpunk-esque cityscapes full of robot inhabitants, and they believe that the above world and the sky is just some far-off fantasy that doesn't really exist. And so with the plot out of the way, I just want to further explain what makes this game so great. And the first and foremost thing that comes to my mind is just how good the gameplay is. It is so satisfying, and somehow they made controlling a cat feel familiar and intuitive, and it's very easy to jump around environments and explore new things. And just like a real cat, you can scratch at couches, doors, rugs. There's literally a button to meow. And perhaps my favorite thing, which I definitely developed an addiction to, is you can just knock stuff off of tables and ledges and whatever else. For the first time ever, I really felt like I could understand just why cats feel this urge to scratch things and knock stuff off of tables. It's honestly just so fun. I probably spent way more time in this game doing all of that stuff than anybody really needs to, but that's part of what makes this game so awesome. It's just another ingredient to that level of deep exploration that the game offers. Exploring not only the environments and the characters, but just also your abilities as a cat and the things you can do that cats normally do that humans can't do, like jumping up to high places, knocking stuff over. No real fears of falling or losing your balance. They've just implemented everything to this really high degree of assurance that makes you feel like you really are living out your fantasy as a cat in a futuristic, dystopian, sci-fi, cyberpunk, post-apocalyptic world. You know, all of our deepest fantasy, I'm sure. And just to further talk about that point, the amount of detail in these worlds is staggering. You have so many different robots and characters with their own dialogue, and they all live in their own different spaces. And these robots over time have come to mimic their human predecessors. So you have bums and shops and restaurants, and they all have this wonderfully cheeky, funny robot humor. But at the same time, there is still this very sort of deep philosophical, political undercurrent through the whole thing, just enough to really make the world feel much fuller and to give you a little bit more to chew on than simply just fun-looking stuff. But the detail goes so much farther than that. There are posters and pictures and images all over the place. The robots have their own language and their own writing system, which is distinct from human writing and English. And this whole game just really has this sincere attention to detail that you can really tell the developers and the artists put so much of their efforts and talents into making this world feel full and realized. And it really makes it feel like this universe is something much larger that you're just getting a glimpse of. There is this guy who has these deeply philosophical ramblings about the ship of Theseus and Plato's cave allegory. You know, as a philosophy nerd, that really speaks to my heart. And of course, I mean, as robots who live for essentially forever, trapped in this underground world, it seems only natural that they would start to have philosophical inclinations about the nature of their own existence, right? And then just to really round out everything, there are all these just little touches and surprising moments, like being able to snuggle up in different random places and just take a little cat nap. The camera pans and zooms out and shows you a wider perspective of the little slice of the world you're in and plays some nice comforting music. There's a robot that plays guitar that you can give music to. Doc from Back to the Future makes an appearance in robot form. And really, to top things all off, the pacing of the game is excellent. It's not very long, just about 6 to 7 hours total if you really take your time and even want 100% the game. It's not that hard to do, and there's so much to explore, but it always feels like you're doing something. And there are very few parts of the game that ever really feel monotonous or boring, and it's pretty difficult to actually get stuck. They do a good job of leading you and guiding you in a way that's not too obvious, and it's subtle, but clear enough that it really enables you to complete the game in a good steady stream of events. Also, you can jump into boxes. So just wrapping things up, obviously I totally recommend Stray. This game is excellent, and I think totally deserves all of the recognition and critical acclaim it's gotten so far. I think it's very accessible, and just about anybody could play it no matter what your experience level with games is. And it really nails what I always look for in just about any game I play these days, which is something unique and interesting and brings that sense of wonder to your gaming experience. And I feel like this game really honestly does an excellent job of creating that sense of wonder and exploration and joy in just playing and exploring everything that it has to offer. So I would say if you're on the fence, pick it up for whatever platform you can, dive into it, explore it for all it's worth, check every little nook and cranny, scratch your claws on every rug and chair you can find, nestle away for a little cat nap and take a break, and talk to every inhabitant in this crazy futuristic robot cyberpunk world. There is a deep and intricate lore and story behind everything, and the world is just so chock full of detail. It really feels like every minute you spend in this world transports you there in the best possible way. But yeah, I think that will about wrap up my Timview of Stray Cat Simulator. I just really think this game is excellent, and anybody who's interested should absolutely give it a shot. If you want to talk more about it, be sure to hit up the Thought Space, the Tim Thoughts Discord, and we can chat more about it, or just share some memes and funny moments. You know, whatever. We keep it pretty casual there and have a good time. But you know, as always, I think we have reached the end of our time here, so thank you so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, welcome, and I will see you all in the next one.